there's the complimentary 360. And he's backpacked up here. Day 2 now, I think. I'm gonna make camp right where I'm standing. Now look at this. Look at this view. Where'd you rather be in the planet? We're in the middle of frickin' nowhere. And we're gonna go to sleep right here. Wake up right here. And we're gonna break camp right in front of these sheep right here. We're gonna make camp in front of these rams. Right here. It's getting dark. That's still working though. I'm sending you a few pictures. The camera takes 3 pictures quickly. This is from my trail camera in southern West Virginia. I hunted this area for many, many years. A lot of strange things started to happen. Last I was there, something came crashing to 15 to 20 feet behind me, but I saw nothing. It scared me so much I left. A few days later, I came back out my tree stand and the trail cam. I included the pictures from my trail cam. It looks to me like an alien-like creature. It looks like something being skinned in the second picture and being carried out. What do you think? If Scott wants to analyze it or take a better look, email me and I'll give it to him. And I'll give him the SD card. What makes this more weird is not long after all this, my wife was traveling about 1 mile down the road from this, and she says it was pitch dark outside, no moon, no stars, just darkness and rain. As she's traveling, about 40 miles an hour, she pops around a curve and this creature appears on all 4s. Her first thought was a deer, but quickly realized it wasn't. It looked to be crossed between a horse and a dog. It was black with matted hair. There was a mane that went down from the base of its black to silver. There was a mane that went from the base black to silver on the ends of the hair. It had pointed ears on top of the head. It had large feet and ran really gawky, but quickly in the pavement. She was driving an SUV and on all 4s, it was 3/4 of the way up the driver's window. While she was still driving, this creature was running alongside her. Mind you, this was his rear end and her eye level. As she went 35 to 40, it ran on ahead to the end of where her headlights could see it cross the road over and up into the mountain cliffs. Then it was gone. She was too scared to look back. She was shaking and crying when she came home and just kept asking what that thing. What could that have been? She was thankful she wasn't alone in the car. She had her client in the car that witnessed it all as well. If he wants that SD card, just email the address and I'll get it to you. This is my wife's email account. Mine is blah, blah, blah. Thanks for giving us a platform to be heard. Mark Cantrell. Okay, Mark. I will check these pictures out. Obviously, there's something there. I can light them up. And we'll have a look at what it is. I can't tell right now in the email, but it sure sounds a little bizarre, doesn't it? I'll definitely have a look, all right? Thanks for sending your email in. It's in my inbox. Reading that out of my inbox, and I'm going to copy this right now. Well, I'm here in front of everybody. Off to the notes. Into the old January folder. Paste. And done. There we go. So be sure, yep, got the pictures in there. And I'll check that out later for sure. Let me brighten this up a bit. The old, I can do the exposure, a couple blasts. It's getting dark out here. That's an odd one. You know, there's no shortage of odd creatures being seen around the planet, is there? Kangaroo-like things to massive wolf-like things to canines to black panthers in the south, but the black panther in the south thing, a friend of mine seen one. I trust him with my life while he was turkey hunting in Alabama, so they're definitely there, without a doubt. There's no shortage of odd things being seen. What do we got here? Attention, Steve. I've greatly enjoyed listening to your videos and stories. I grew up in Michigan. I was lucky to annually join a friend's deer hunting camp in the beautiful UP. That's the Upper Peninsula. Got friends that have camp up there. Over the past 2 decades, I've lived just around Boulder, Colorado area. I'm quite intrigued by the many Sasquatch stories I've heard just within this state. It's mind-boggling to me that people have reported these experiences just miles from this busy and bustling, unfortunately, new Silicon Valley. One report happened just a mile from my friend's cabin, maybe around a dozen miles from Estee Peak. I'm intrigued to learn more about it as I've hiked and camped there several times in the past. Anyhow, I remember reading an incredible quote pertaining to this phenomenon quite a while back. It took me a little while to find it in cyberspace today, but here it is. Might be a good one to share in a future video. Either the most complex and sophisticated hoax in the history of anthropology had continued for centuries without being exposed, or the most man-like and largest non-human primate on Earth has managed to survive in parts of North America and remains undiscovered by modern science. G.W. Gill, former president of the American Board of Forensic Anthropology. And like many other armchair enthusiasts out there, I've studied the Patterson footage and related analysis videos numerous times. It becomes more clear each time that the movements and various subtleties cannot be replicated by any human. Beyond fascinating. Appreciate what you do. Thanks, Brian, Lafayette, Colorado. Thanks for that, Brian. And yeah, it's pretty obvious the Patterson footage is authentic. It's the people that insist on thinking there's a zipper and as a person, they're just terrified, they're scared, and they will not acknowledge these things are real, and they don't want nothing to do with them. And that's fine. Alright, what do we got here? Below, I don't know. Somebody forward me about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 YouTube video links. Like I got time for that. Oh. But I'll have a look sometime. Somebody wanted to alarm me about the Zetas. And I get that all the time. I get the whole thing, the underground tunnels, the slavery thing, the Zetas, the this, the that. I get it nonstop. Somebody has even emailed me the same email 8 times in a row in every single one of my inboxes to get that message out to me. Alright, I got it. Just so you know, quit doing that. You're taking up room for the tens of thousands of people that need to share their life-changing experience they had and they didn't ask for, okay? Hi, Steve. I wanted to share my story with you all, but it's something I've never have told before. It was early in the spring of 1996. My wife and 2 kids and I went to Hull Creek Campground in the Stanislaus National Forest to camp in a trailer. It was rough getting in because of the snowdrifts. We finally made it to our site. Later that evening, another family, husband, wife, and 2 young kids, showed up and set up their tent. They were about 60 yards away from our camp. All our kids got together to play, then we said goodnight and went into our trailer for the night. We played board games till about midnight. That's when we turned our lights out and went to sleep. Steve, this is a remote area, and it was just us and the other family in the area. I was awakened about an hour later by bright lights outside our trailer. My first thought, it was the family going out to do their midnight nature call. Mind you, it was freezing cold out there. I got up to look out the window, and as I pulled the curtains open, I saw a bluish-gray, 30-foot diameter globe. It seemed to have an atmosphere inside. The brightness was from inside. That's all I remembered. Later in the morning, the family came over to inquire as to what happened last night. My wife and I were like, what? They said there were bright lights, and we were all screaming and fighting, and then silence. They assumed someone had a night terror. We said no, nothing happened. We were bewildered. A few days later, memories of it began to flood my brain. I remember being inside a room. White light seemed to be everywhere. No real dimension. As I sat, unable to move or speak, my 3-year-old son was next to me. We were both naked. I was speaking to the 3 beings that were in front of me using my mind and thoughts. I pleaded for them to leave my son alone. I wanted to fight, but I'm unable to move. They seemed to listen but not act. They did something to my brain where I suddenly knew everything there was ever to know. It was like taking off a bag off your head. I felt I would share with the world. I was told we were not ready for this just yet and was returned to my normal state again. This sounds really strange as I'm typing this out. I don't really know why they did this to us. I also found drawings my son made of alien-looking beings. It showed him angry at them. My wife saw the strangest marks on my chest, like fingers or restraint marks. Strangely, we never spoke of this. Sadly, my wife passed away in 2015 of cancer at 58 years of age. Kids growing up on their own. Strange shit, eh, Steve? Thank you for helping us get this off our chest. Much love and respect, Tony. Ooh. That's a handful, eh, Tony? And that sounds exactly like that. Oh, I forget the name of that guy. He has told his experience, and his co-workers told his experience of that beaming light coming down from that object in the air and took him away. And he related his story numerous times, and they made a movie about it. Was it Fire in the Sky or something? They made a movie about it. loggers. I actually listened to that man relay his story just a couple weeks ago, actually, while I was working at home. And he was absolutely credible, man. And he never wavered, and his stories never changed. And, you know, again, I'm not the UFO guy, but I definitely don't envy anybody having that experience, and I don't need one myself either, right? But I got no problem sharing here with everybody. Maybe somebody else has had the same alarming experience. I'm sure they have. And I hope it doesn't happen to you again. What a weird thing. What a crazy ride this lifetime is, isn't it? It's just a crazy, crazy ride. And if you ever talk to those people again, or those beings, tell them that I'm ready. I'm ready to know everything. I'm into it. I'm ready. Dump it on me. I can handle it. I'm ready to learn. Anyway, now it's getting dark. Now it's going to be dark by the time I get to the truck. And I haven't ate, so I hope all these emails are helping somebody out there. And if you feel compelled, you need some support, you want to get off your chest, email it to sharemystory@howtohunt.com or tellmystory@howtohunt.com, and it will get read. Okay? Whew, I tell you what, Sony cameras do not like low light. I keep adjusting the exposure on this. I'm going to blast off some more. I got my inboxes just choked with emails. New ones. So these are going to be quite recent. What do we got? The email's titled "Your Theory About the Creek." A while back, by the time you guys see this email, it was a while back, I had a theory about a creek bottom with aggregate, dirt, bank, and then the forest floor, and having that as a Achilles heel for the Sasquatch beings and us seeing them. So this is obviously going to be a reply to it. Ready? I'm a 23-year plus veteran conservation law enforcement officer for a northern U.S. state. My uncle, God rest his soul, was a 40-plus year LEO in Oregon. The subject of Sasquatch has fascinated me my entire life. Though I've never had the encounter, I gotta believe there's something going on. Not everyone misidentified a bear. A couple of things. Not all wildlife officers mock folks. I've taken a number of sighting calls and never once mocked or told them they didn't see what they saw. It'd be like me lumping all the guides are dirty because of those I've arrested. Yeah, no doubt, man. And I'm sure obviously you saw me when I mentioned some of the law enforcement, the guys that should be ashamed of themselves for doing that. Make sure you always listen thoroughly, everybody, that I always say not all. Not everybody, not all. Not all, okay? But thanks for email. I'll get on with your email here. I've worked with several Native American CEOs. I even trained band members as CEOs. They have shared their encounters, local to my area, mind you, about these being sighted near water. My uncle relayed an encounter or a couple of his LEO partners had while elk hunting in Oregon. They at first believed there was a woman, long dark hair, sitting on a log near a river. It wasn't until she stood up they realized how massive it was. They quit hunting. Another encounter is from a truck driver who came to the station to report what he thought was a hitchhiker or a stranded motorist on a mountain highway in the rain one night. The hitchhiker, as the driver pulled over to help, stood up and looked him in the eye. Mind you, he was driving an 18-wheeler. The creature then walked straight up the mountain. My cousins still live in Oregon. She no longer hunts with her husband and brother because of the screams and stuff thrown at them where they camp. Oh, and the creepy feeling the area gives her. Continue with the fight. Pray for the world to come to its senses, and when I retire, I'll share my identity. Buy you a bourbon, America's whiskey. Still love looking for the Sasquatch and the bottle of kokanee. Peace. Okay, man. Thanks for that email. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to more coming from you. And I know there are CEOs out there, conservation officers, game wardens. I know there is officers out there who know of these beings and have reported them seeing them. I know there's a couple of conservation officers in the Yukon, and they were on their quads, just a 2-lane highway, Alaska Highway. They're on one side of Alaska Highway, and this thing was in the ditch down there looking up on the other side of the highway. And they had no problems coming forward and sharing what they've seen with the public. So I know you guys, there's many of you game wardens out there and police officers are out there who know exactly what we're talking about, and I know there's some good ones out there that won't belittle people or try to lie to people or convince people they didn't see what they saw when they're looking to them for support or bring their reports to them. I know that for a fact as well. But anyway, I better get my butt out of here. And just so you guys know, just farther up this valley is where I videotaped those bright lights in the sky a few weeks back while I was hunting. I'm away hunting. And we're going to get out of here before something wants to take me to the sky and make me disappear. But again, thanks to all you people out there who are emailing in. It's helping many people. And be safe out there.